Do you ever feel like the lessons you learned as a child are still influencing your life today? Maybe they show up in how you relate to others, how you find yourself thinking about yourself, or even in the emotions that you feel in your daily life. What if I told you that you have the power to rewrite those lessons and create a healthier, more empowered version of yourself? In this video, we're going to explore how to reparent yourself, heal emotional wounds, and build self-love. Hi, my name's Nicholas Harris, and I've spent over 20 years helping people to heal emotional pain and create meaningful change in their lives. Stay with me until the end of this video, where I'm going to share with you how you can get entirely free access to my course, How to Heal Emotional Pain. Here's what we're going to cover in this video. Firstly, we're going to reflect on the messages that you received as a child and how they've shaped you. Next, we're going to bring awareness to how those childhood patterns influence your life today. Then we're going to delve into how you can upgrade your parental programming and take back control of your mind. After that, we're going to explore forgiveness and how forgiveness can set you free. Step 1. Reflect on the messages that you received as a child. Fundamentally, each of us is programmed by our parents. They teach us their value systems, their beliefs, and their ideas about what's right and wrong. Think back to your childhood and try to remember the messages that you received from your parents. You might have received some different ideas from each of them. When you do, please ask yourself the following questions. What were the positive messages and what were the negative ones? What beliefs did they teach you? What emotions did you learn from your parents? Because we imprint emotional patterns from them as well. What did you learn about life from their example, from their relationship, from your home, from the place that you were brought up, and which of these lessons helped you to grow and evolve? And which of these lessons limits you today? Were your emotional needs fulfilled by your parents? What did you feel was missing? With which parent did you feel safer? Was there a parent with whom you didn't feel safe at all? Perhaps one of them was just distant because they were always at work. Did your parents help you to feel safe and loved so you can grow into yourself? Or did you feel as if you had to be a certain way in order to get the love that you deserve? What are the emotional wounds that you're carrying from your childhood? Imagine that when you were born, your mind was like a blank computer that was imprinted with all of this messaging, forming an operating system, helping you to function in the world. Look back at your programming, almost as if you could watch it from a third-party perspective. Consciously separate the positive from the negative, because for most people, it wasn't all bad. What we want to do, of course, is we want to be able to release the negative, to keep the positive, and to use that as a foundation to reparent yourself based on your values, based on your needs, based on your understanding, and based on your goals in your life. Step number 2. Consider how these childhood patterns shape your life today. Bring awareness to how your parenting is influencing your relationships, your career, your sense of self-confidence, both in terms of the negative and also in terms of the positive. Recognize moments where you're repeating your programming from your parents in your mind. When are you following their rules? How is following your parental programming helping you today? How is following your parental programming limiting you today? And do you perhaps find yourself doing things like seeking validation from other people that you missed from a parent? Which of your emotions and behaviors did you imprint from your parents? Do they repeat in your relationships? Or are there ways that you're repeating your relationship with your mother in your relationships with women? Perhaps you're repeating your relationship with your father in your relationships with men. That which is not processed from the past will repeat unconsciously until you heal it today. Awareness is the first step towards change. Step number 3, reclaim your power by redefining your programming. The next step to healing emotional wounds and building self-love through reparenting is to consciously choose which of this patterning you wish to keep and which you wish to release. From there, you can use consciousness techniques that you can practice in order to do just that. Here's one way. In any moment when you become aware of negative messaging from your childhood arising inside of you, just take a moment and close your eyes. Ask yourself, From which parent did this message come from? Breathe in through your nose. And as you breathe up, imagine you breathe up through your spine from the center of the earth to your heart. And when you breathe out, imagine that you could send that imprint back to the parent that it came from. Each of us has many parental cords attached to our emotional heart. The feminine cords are to the left, the masculine cords are to the right. So if you want to imagine sending something back to your mother, you breathe from the ground up to your heart, and you imagine that you breathe it out towards the left, towards her. If you want to give something back to your father, you breathe it out towards the right. Reparenting yourself and building self-love is about healing the parental cords. Repeat this for a few breaths, and then breathe from the sky down to your heart. And as you breathe out, imagine that you breathe from your heart right in front of you, almost as if you could imagine yourself, the future you in front of yourself. Speak to yourself. Tell yourself what you want to believe, what you want to think, and what you want to feel. Imagine yourself with that new programming, as if you could step forward in time and see how your life would be different with this new messaging and these new beliefs. Then step into the future you and open your eyes. This is one of many conscious techniques to reparent yourself. If you would like to learn more, please check out the resources in the description below. The language of your subconscious mind is imagination. When you learn how to use the power of your subconscious mind, you will discover powerful ways to release parental imprints inside of yourself and create change in your life from inside. Step number 4, find freedom through forgiveness. Forgiveness is an essential step towards healing. And the reason why we choose to forgive is not for other people. We choose to forgive for ourselves. When you fail to forgive, you hold on to the past. Or as the quote from Buddhism says, failing to forgive is like holding onto a hot coal. You're the one who gets burned. The emotions that underlie what you have not forgiven from the past will repeat in our lives again and again until you heal them today. Forgiveness leads to inner growth, and you will discover that when you're able to forgive the past, you will also be able to integrate the lessons from the past and be able to let everything else go. One perspective that's helpful is to connect with the intentions and emotions of your parents when you were a child. Why were they the way they were? What was their situation? What did they learn from their parents? How were they affected by their own past? How are the messages that they receive from their parental programming being passed down to you? It's helpful to visualize the child within your parents and to acknowledge their struggles. Imagine the inner child of your parents going through the most difficult moments in their life. And as you do, imagine that when you breathe in, you breathe all of the way in from the sky through your nose, and when you breathe out from your heart, sending a soft, warm, compassionate light to the child inside your parents, as if you could imagine that just like you, just like me, they were a child who wanted to feel safe and loved exactly as they were. Just like you, just like me, they felt scared. Just like you, just like me, they were given some positive messaging and some negative messaging too. As children, all too often we have the idea that our parents are somehow perfect. But the truth is that very few people were taught to be a parent. And in the situation that they were in, and with the trauma that they had from the past, they were doing the best that they could with what they knew. Even terrible patterns of abuse are often the result of trauma from them having been abused themselves. When you're able to embrace a higher perspective about your parents, this is going to help you to be able to take those important steps towards forgiveness so that you can reparent yourself, heal emotional wounds, build self-love, and experience the peace that you deserve. Reparenting yourself is a powerful way to heal emotional wounds. It will help you to redefine your identity and feel empowered to create the life you choose. If you would like to learn more, I invite you to join my free course, How to Heal Emotional Pain. In the course, you're going to learn the roadmap to heal any emotional challenge in your life. The link's in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.